second. Yep, just 1 second. Second. All right, let's do it. What's going on YouTube? So today I'm starting something new on this channel. I need to practice more often in terms of my lighting and cinematography. And so how I'm going to do that is use you, but I'm hoping that you can also use me so we can achieve this mutual usership of sorts. And so what that's going to look like is basically more short form videos, ideally between maybe the 5 and 8 minute mark, where I light a scene or a sequence of some kind that could belong in a larger narrative short film or feature film or something, but I'll just be lighting one scene, in today's case, like a bathroom, for example, which you're about to see the breakdown for. And that will allow me to basically kind of like rapid fire these videos that hopefully give you value and give me an opportunity to practice. And as much as I love doing the kind of like narrative short form stuff that I've done before on this channel, it just takes so much time that unfortunately I just don't have a lot of. The nature of my personal life is that it's quite busy. I have a lot of plans all the time, and so doing these more short form videos that still give me the opportunity to practice will be beneficial to me, but also I hope to my audience, because you'll be seeing more videos hopefully more frequently, and hopefully just as educational and beneficial to you as my breakdowns of my previous narrative more short film style videos were. And you might say, you know, like, oh, a 3-minute short film isn't that long, and that's true lengthwise. A short film can be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but the process of writing a half decent story, shot listing it, blocking it, lighting it, editing all the takes out, acting for one is not a strong suit for me especially. And there are many times when my shorter videos have taken 3 or 4 nights in a row to film, just because if they take place at night, maybe in the summer for example, the sun goes down at like what, 9 o'clock p.m. and I have work the next day or something, and so it kind of sucks to have to like bring out all the equipment, take 45 minutes to an hour to set up, hit record, get a shot or 2 in, call it a night, and do it again the next day. And so yeah, again, I'm hoping this will be more consistent, frequent videos that will benefit both you and me. I don't know why I keep doing that. Do you have anything to add, lady? Tell the people what you want to say. Sick. And so the process that I would like to follow for this video and the rest of the videos coming up after this is establish a plan that I can use for almost every lighting situation. And so how that plan for me is going to look, and it will likely evolve after this video, but for a starting point, what I'm doing is starting with ShotDeck. And so in this case, I'm just going to create a Google Slides document where I'm going to be searching for ShotDeck inspirations. In this case, I searched up bathroom. And so that generated a bunch of different images from shots from movies that take place in a bathroom. They're all lit in different ways, but one thing I was looking for in particular was kind of this more like toppy light with no window source, because the bathroom that I'm shooting in does not actually have a window in it. And I also wanted to include a mirror, so you'll see that all of my inspiration pictures from ShotDeck include kind of this like single top source down on the face and a mirror. And then after that, I'm not going to necessarily try and recreate that shot, but just use that kind of like lighting scheme in my shots based off of the mood that I'm trying to convey. I would like to grab different inspiration from different films across different time periods. I think actually one of my inspo shots for this one was a film from like the 80s, for example. So I'm reaching for inspiration from back when they didn't have maybe like the same lighting technology that we have today, and then also some more modern day stuff too, where they're going to have access to these crazy LED light bars that can change color temperature and remote controlled and app controlled and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about what is happening in this scene. So, first thing our wide shot is going to do for us is establish where the light is coming from, which in this case is that practical source, and just outside of the door here is a GVM light panel set to like a disco mode. We've also got kind of like a frame within a frame thing here going on, which is always nice. So I walk into the room, and hopefully you are fooled into thinking that this light is emitting the light that you see in the room currently, when in reality it is definitely not. It is, I mean, it's doing a good amount of work, but it's not filling up the entire room. Also, one mistake that I tried to remedy in this video compared to a previous video that I did was I left that light blown out on purpose. The dynamic range of my camera isn't great, but at the end of the day, light bulbs like that exposed are meant to be blown out even to your human eye, so I left that kind of like clipping. Whereas previously before I did a cinematography for beginners by beginner video, and I was so obsessed with preserving the highlights that I cranked my aperture down so small that you could basically see the coils inside of the light bulb. And it was just too much, and it made my overall shot way too dark, and I couldn't even compensate with my light off of frame fully. Like, I really don't like that shot now that I look back at it, but it's part of the learning process. So composition-wise, we've got a foreground element here, being this shower curtain rod. Always like to have a good foreground element in the shot. The wide shot is just establishing the general space of the scene. I feel like it gets kind of weird if you just like, if the shot were to be more close in right here of me opening the door and walking in, and then we cut straight to this like mirror scene. It really wouldn't, you wouldn't really have much context for like what this room looks like, and giving you at least a couple of seconds worth of a shot to establish the space is always a good thing. So, and it's also worth noting that in the shots that follow this one, I'm putting this piece of foil on top of that light to control the spill off of the ceiling, because I'm going to be using, hold on, because once we cut to a closer up shot, I'm going to be using this little newer kind of bar light thing right here, and that will be boomed over my head at 50% power like this, and that will kind of emulate what this light is doing. But for the closer up shots, this light is just not powerful enough, and so we want to have something like this so we can get this under the chin shadow kind of thing going on. So also, I hope that somebody in the comments thinks that the color grading is halfway decent, because it's actually not. So I've been playing with my white balance a lot lately in my camera, so these lights that you see casting light onto me, they kind of give off that blue hue, and that is not because I'm an expert color grader or know how to actually do that. I'm the farthest thing from an expert color grader, in fact. All I did was set the white balance to, I think, 3600 Kelvin in my camera, and so if my light's here, I figure this practical, I actually don't know for sure, I kind of eyeballed it, but I figure this practical above me is somewhere in the 5600 Kelvin range, and so that's what I set my newer light to, which is right here. So I set this guy to 5600 Kelvin, and because my camera's white balance is set lower than what the practical and the added light is set at, it's going to give off more of like a bluer hue. So one constant through every shot that is in this little sequence here in the bathroom is this Godox light over there in the background. And here, I'll just show what this is doing over here. So that light has been one constant for this entire sequence. It's just keeping the ambient levels and the shadows kind of raised to where they're not crushing, which is good. I love shooting against mirrors because you get a lot of depth here. We have some kind of action right here with the frame, and then you see, of course, me, and then the contrasty lighting that we had earlier, and then you see the door and some background elements back here. So, and then whenever I kind of go down for the water and stuff, you see me, which adds another layer of depth. So always figuring out ways to add these different like layers of depth in one shot, and basically plotting out just different points of interest is always going to be beneficial to your compositions. So I just took that take, hopefully it turned out. Let's talk about what this shot is doing for me. So first of all, let's address this bit of shower curtain in the foreground here. Yeah, so essentially I love having stuff in the foreground, and so the shower curtain is doing that for me. But also, it is hiding the fact that this door is actually now open. And that is because I did not want my Godox light to be connected to here, because that would look strange, I think, with the context of the scene. And that light is this direction off frame, creating a fill light for me. I'll turn that off now so you can see what that looks like. So this is without that light, and then this is that. Next up is, I don't know if it's, so it's just off frame here, but there is a C-stand right here, booming up and over my head, and I'll just show you that real quick. I have that flagged off just a little bit with some gaff tape to control the spill on the wall. And I still have, I can't go up this high, but I still have the practical source above the mirror still on. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Again, I hope that you learned something from this and that it was some value added to your day and your skill set. Hopefully that if you're going to be shooting a short film or a narrative film or a documentary or whatever it is that takes place in a bathroom for some reason, you can use some of the tips and tricks that I talked about today for my scene and work of your own. So last but not least, before I sign off here, I have never once asked in the life of this channel so far for anyone to hit the like button or subscribe or anything like that, because, I don't know, I think that most times people are just going to do that if they want to anyways. But in this case, I'm going to ask if you did actually get some value out of this. It would be a good way to let me know that you did by commenting or liking, or if you want to subscribe. I'm by no means an expert in this craft. I literally just bought my first camera last year in May, so I've been doing this for just over a year. There are a ton more channels on YouTube that are way better at this than I am, but the idea in my eyes at least is we can kind of grow together. So if you're a beginner YouTuber or a beginner cinematographer, I'm going to be definitely talking about things from a beginner perspective. Because I am not a DP by trade, I'm a mechanical engineer, so this is definitely not my forte as of yet, but I hope that doing these more consistent videos, I can practice more frequently and use these tips and tricks that I'm learning along the way with you on my more long form, like narrative short film, or if I ever end up doing like a feature film, I can use these same tips and tricks I'm talking through in these videos in those longer form content pieces. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you learned something, great. I hope you did. If not, I'm so sorry. Have a good one.